Did you know in 2020 that we literally went from 5 million millionaires around the world to over 50 million millionaires? If that doesn't create a little bit of FOMO, I don't know what will. In fact, this stupid scooter literally is one of those companies that became multimillionaires in 2020. And you should be asking yourself, am I getting a piece of that action? If not, come with me.
One shot, now the future is yours. Go! I'm turning dreams into reality. Yeah, it's one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
Well, today we're going to be talking about 5 requirements for a successful business, because I'm going to tell you right now, business is becoming so popular. Did you know that over 90% of Gen Z is planning on entrepreneurship as their career, not the whole go to college thing? This statistic is what I was referencing that is so mind-blowing. While many poor people became poorer during the pandemic, the number of millionaires increased by 5.2 million, bringing the global number to 56.1 millionaires. Now just think about that for a moment. 56 million people in this thing called Earth are millionaires. Are you one of them? Listen, I'm telling you right now, if you are subscribed to my channel, the purpose is for me to get you there. And they say that your first million is your hardest, and from there it's like, great, now make 5 more. Great, now make 50 more. Because it's not about being rich. It's having more money so you've got more options. You can certainly live the life that you want, but think of the cool legacy that you can leave when you got money like that. You're never going to get there, however, nearly as fast as you can through business unless you're willing to actually look at business, which is why today I'm going to share with you the 5 requirements that every business should have that unfortunately most don't. Please pause and look at me for just a moment. What I'm telling you is really important. Some people follow me because they want to learn about real estate. Some people follow me because they want to learn about business. Others follow me because they like what I have to say about personal development. For just a moment, stop listening to what you want and just ask this question. What should I want? If Kris were literally in my shoes today, if he literally repossessed my body and my assets and everything and started making decisions as you, what choices would he make? I'm going to tell you right now that of all the millions that I've made in the game of real estate, if you said, Kris, I want to become financially free in a matter of months, then you have to get into the game of business, not just real estate. And today I'm going to show you the real shortcuts. Because here's the thing, how hard is it to start a business? If you've never been in business for yourself, this is what you're obsessed with. Your worst case scenario is, I'm going to fail, it's not going to work out, I'm going to lose money, I'll lose this time. But check this out. Data from the BLS shows that approximately 20% of new businesses fail during the first 2 years, 45% during the first 5 years, and 65% during the first 10 years. Only 25% of new businesses make it to 15 years or more. So that's not exactly super encouraging, but I want you to understand that if you have a good business mentor like me and you can watch and literally follow along with the 5 requirements that I'm going to give you, you're not going to pick a dumb business in the first place, so you're not going to become one of those statistics. First thing that you got to ask, what is my expected ROI? Now remember that ROI stands for return on investment. If I put money into starting a business, how much moolah is it going to deliver back? And I'm telling you right now that while it's important to think of how great your product is and how great your service is, and also, what's the value I'm going to create in the world, those things are all important, but start with the numbers. If your business can't show you how to make a lot of money right out of the gate, then you shouldn't be looking at that business in the first place. Listen, a typical company has a 10% margin. That means that they collect $1 and they only keep a dime. And you know what? That's sad, but people they're okay with that. That's good for them. You're gonna have to raise your standards with me. Imagine if your standard was to only select a business with a minimum 25% profit. That means that for every $1 you collect, you're actually keeping a quarter. You're now 2.5 times better off than the average business out there. And with 2.5 times as much profit, making 2.5 times more money, you don't have to become 2.5 times bigger to make the same amount of money. You're literally doing the same amount of business as the dude and dudette on the left and right, but you're making 2.5 times more money. Now I'm going to tell you right now that one of my businesses, my core business that makes me millions of dollars, it is set to a 70% profit margin. That means literally when $100,000 comes in the door, 70,000 of it is set aside as profit. Why is that happening? Is it because I'm lucky? Or is it because I got better with business over time and I learned that I get what my standards are, not whatever the universe dishes up for me? You find a business that comes along with a 10% margin, sure, that might work if you're like, some really big company like Walmart, but you're not, and you're not gonna do some billionaire tech startup more than likely. You're just looking at, hey, how do I make an extra $1 million and join that millionaire club? You're looking for something really simple and start with a higher profit margin because it will set you apart from everyone else. The next thing you gotta do is size up your market. How big is your market for your idea? Does it appeal to a lot of people or does it appeal to a very specific niche? And is my niche so tiny that like maybe I can't literally have a reasonable company that produces money for me? Like, have you come up with this idea that you wanna make SpongeBob SquarePants pajamas for dogs? SpongeBob SquarePants! I'm sorry, but my guess is it's probably not a really big market, and if you don't have people that you can sell to, how can you really have a successful business? On the one hand, you do want to dominate a niche, but you also got to make sure that that niche is big enough that there's enough people that you can sell to. By the way, here's some questions that you may want to consider. Is there already a successful business in this industry? Like, am I pioneering and creating something new? Or is there some type of proof out there that other people are making money with a similar product or idea? How many customers do I need to be successful? Like, if you're only gonna make $1 on the sale of a product, then you have to have like freaking million customers to make $1 million. That is a lot of people that you gotta meet. And finally, can I adequately serve that volume of customers? Or in other words, is my business gonna require me to service so many people that my business becomes extremely complicated? I'm gonna tell you right now that Tony Robbins, one of my business mentors, taught me that complexity is the enemy of success. If you want a very successful business, you need something really, really simple. And then you can't ignore risk. It's real, it's a part of business. What you need to do is intelligently mitigate your risk. So you gotta be asking, how am I going to minimize my risk? Well, first of all, start with some type of proven simple business model, right? Like, you don't have to invent the wheel from scratch. And number two, avoid business loans if possible. I had this young woman come up to me, she's 16 years old. She says, Kris, I'm looking for $45 million to start a gymnastics studio. I'm like, girl, you gotta look for somebody's free basement that you can actually bootstrap and build your business out of, just to even see if it's gonna work so you don't take on some crazy liability. And finally, hire the right people. Don't start with nepotism, like who do you know, like my friends and my family. That stuff's complicated. Find people that are crazy competent, but people that also believe in what you're doing. One of my favorite ways to minimize my risk is to actually take the business idea and just test it for 30 days. I'm gonna try it for 30 days and I'm gonna see if I can even make half as much money as I think I can. 30 days later, if you only make 1/10 of what you thought possible, dude, you're not seeing straight and you're not clearly aligned with what you thought and what reality is, so you should throw that business idea away. It would be better for you to throw 10, 20, 30, or 50 business ideas away by just doing little tests on them until you find one where it's like, oh my gosh, this test was wildly successful. In fact, it required just a pinky of effort and it made all of this money. That's the business that you should pursue. The truth is, I know the real reason why you're not already a multimillionaire in business. It's because that you think that being in business is even harder than being an employee for someone else because you think that owning a business means that you're the operator. You're wearing multiple hats and you're the one doing all the work, right?
Spin hat, bucket hat, floppy hat, top hat. The Heisenberg.
Not so, my friend. Number 4 requirement if you want to have a successful business is how are you going to scale your business? By first of all realizing, hey yo, I need that really sexy profit margin because I'm not taking a position in the business. I gotta have profits and money so I can pay other people to do all the work. I can minimize my role and then I get my time back and then I can make extra good money. In other words, is my business replicatable? Is my business viable in other markets? And honestly, can I delegate the work to someone else to do? If it's simple, if it's repeatable, and if your customers love what it is, then guess what? You may have just hit a home run. Now, in a moment, I'm gonna share with you my hack on how to find a simple, proven business because they're out there and you definitely don't wanna reinvent the wheel. But first, I've got the 5th and final requirement, which is you gotta have an exit strategy. And exit strategy means a couple of things. First, how are you going to exit the business? Every time I start a business, I better be out of it within 4 months. My first 30 days is an experiment. And if it passes, the next 90 days is documenting how we became successful as we push it being more successful, and documented how we did it so that I can do what? I can delegate it and hand it off. That's my first exit, get my time back. But beyond that, you want to ask, am I building value in this business so that I could someday sell the business or just keep it and keep cash flowing it? And you want to create this problem for yourself where it's like, well, shoot, you know, the business makes me $50,000 of profit every month, but someone is willing to buy it for $2 million. And what would I rather have? $2 million cash up front or $50,000 a month? Well, $50,000 a month times 12 months, that's $600,000 of profit that I'm getting every year. But this person over here wants to pay me $2 million. It'll take me maybe 3.5 years before I can make that same amount of money keeping my business. This is really a tough pinch to be in because woe is me, I've got first world problems. The dude or dudette writes me a $2 million check, or I just make $50,000 a month of profit. Meanwhile, I'm not doing the work anyway because I'm an owner, not an operator. By the way, you are of course building a business for the active income that it can produce for you, but you should always be looking to build that exit value so that you can create that kind of problem for yourself. Do you take a big check or do you keep cash flowing it like a cash cow? Moo.
Moo, 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 I'm mooey.
Well, listen, the ultimate hack is to start with a vetted business. Most people don't know that. They're like, hey, I had this idea, or I've got this passion, or I'm making this artwork. And I'm like, no. Listen, go vet a bunch of businesses and go find a winner and prove that it's a winner first. This is something that I do for fun. And if you're a subscriber on my channel, if you like my content, you're gonna love the businesses that I've gathered that you could literally spend an hour or 2 or 3 a day, and I kid you not, make more money than you do at a 40-hour work week. Don't believe me? Dude, click the link below. Check it out. Click the link. Let me show you some of my proven businesses. Talk to a member of my team. Look at all the different ones that I have. Find something that you absolutely love and take back control of your own financial life. Did you know that millionaires have certain habits that allow them to become millionaires? There are 7. There are 7 habits that they have that make that possible. And what if I told you that I made a video showing all 7 of those to you? Well, if you're a subscriber and you want to be a multimillionaire, click and watch this video. Enjoy.
Am I going in the shade? Do you want me out of, like here in the sun? Or do you want me in the shade?
We'll do out.
Okay, I'll do one more.